moving on, we're going to go to our next segment called In the Pocket. In the Pocket's where we pick our favorite quarterback, or the quarterback we think had the best performance from the previous week. We talk about their game, their stats, and then we give a quarterback or a few quarterbacks for the next week that we think will have a good performance. So, you want to give yours first, or you want me to go?
I'll go. I got who stood out to me this week, Sunday. I got Patrick Mahomes. Put up 5 touchdowns against the Eagles. Like I said, we just got done talking about the Eagles in the Chiefs game. If Pat Mahomes wouldn't have been there, put up those touchdowns, Eagles probably win that game. So I feel like he stood out, but there is a lot of quarterbacks. Pat this week was the numbers guy. If you're going for fantasy points, I guess I didn't look at the fantasy points, but as far as touchdowns, he had 5 touchdowns. That's pretty good in the NFL. But yeah, his 5 touchdowns, so he's the numbers guy. But there's a lot of young quarterbacks like Mac Jones, Justin Herbert. They put up pretty good points against pretty good teams. And Mac Jones going toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. That was a really good game.
Yeah.
And then my next week pick, I almost forgot about that, is Mac Jones versus Texans.
Thought about picking him.
I feel like he's upset at the way the game ended against Brady. That would really been a good, really good thing to write down on a resume going into contract negotiations sometime.
A good team to take your frustrations out on.
Yeah.
You got any more?
That's all of them for this week, I think. Matt Stafford versus Seahawks is interesting, but I'm not going to put him up there yet.
My quarterback for this past week went 14 for 22, 188 yards and 4 touchdowns. Dak Prescott versus the Panthers. Dak coming back from a gruesome injury, playing a very hyped up Panthers team that is still pretty good. It was a good game. But Dak's bounced back and shown that he's a big time quarterback, and I could see the Cowboys and him being there at the end of the year in the picture. Don't know how far they'll go, but they'll be there. That's my pick for last week. This week I could see Ryan Tannehill versus the Jags. Jags are in all kinds of mess right now, and we'll talk more about that later. Ryan Tannehill is a solid quarterback. Titans usually, even whenever they're pretty decent, have their way with the Jags. So Ryan Tannehill versus the Jags is my first one. Tom Brady versus the Dolphins. Even though they won, he didn't have too great of a game against the Patriots. You could tell the nerves was there.
I don't think he was, as far as that game specifically against the Patriots, I don't think he was the best quarterback that played that night.
No.
Mac Jones outplayed Tom Brady.
He was nervous. You could tell he was. That had him shaken up, and I could see it. I mean, anybody watching that game could see it. He's just very shaky. He didn't look like Tom normally does.
And Rob Gronkowski being out.
Yeah, that's a big deal too.
His biggest weakness.
And then the third and final quarterback to watch out for next week is Aaron Rodgers versus the Bangles. Bengals are decent and not too great. I can see Aaron Rodgers going off in this game.
Good game for Aaron to make that MVP push.
MVP statement game.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't take Sam Darnold. It's your boy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be honest, I thought about taking him. Ever since I've talked bad on Sam Darnold, he's went out there and proved it.
And it'd be a good game for him to do it with the Eagles.
It'll be interesting. I wouldn't count Jalen Hurts out either.
That's what I was about to say. That'll be a good game for both quarterbacks. I mean, it'll probably be back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'd watch. I don't know. That's a hard pick with our defense, but I would watch Heineke versus the Saints too.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, Heineke might light him up. Kind of scary.
All right, that's in the pocket. We're going to move on to the next segment.